looks like a white guy that went to Africa and just moved there randomly and feels like he's accepted by all the people that live there, but in reality, they're just laughing at him because he walks around in the garb and they're just like, look at this white guy. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Trainwreck and 90 Day Fiance Season 11, Episode 16. But before we dive right in, we have so much madness going on with the throuple who just seem to completely forget everything that has happened. We have Aaliyah possibly leaving Sean, or could it possibly be all Aaliyah and being late again because, wow, ridiculous. And of course, we have weddings rolling in, all the incredible craziness that comes along with it, and we'll get right to that. But make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share with your friends. I appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. When you hit the notifications, make sure you hit all so you get all the videos coming in as we do some recaps throughout the week. And we've got Hunt for Love, which is always fun. But let's get right into it, because this episode, as with all of them, doesn't disappoint because they are just, they're dumb. Most of these people are just dumb.
Important person in my life, but for me, my aunt is very important for me because she
that lady looks like she is not going to be okay with whatever you bring, and you're going to bring that lady saying, this is my girlfriend and this is my boyfriend and we're going to be happy together. And I don't buy that this lady even knows what you do for a living or how you get money or how you use people, because that lady would not be okay with it.
Pero si en algún momento mi tía no los acepta, no sé si yo pudiera continuar, ¿sabes? No tengo idea. No.
So you're telling me by saying that your aunt has been completely okay with all your decisions, like, I don't know, being a Tijuana stripper, and quite possibly more. I would venture to say she's probably just an outright prostitute. With all the accusations, all the boyfriends, all the excess bank accounts, all the sending money to different places, and the nice apartment that she walked into where her daughter lives, yeah, she's doing more than that. But your aunt is okay with that? Or is this just the first time you're telling her about any of this? I don't trust a damn thing this chick says. She hasn't even been honest about her name, and yet we've completely forgot about that.
Give me time, okay?
Give me time, okay? Look, it's like, after all that, she's still asking for time to come clean and do these things. Look, I agree. Let's just admit that this is one of the dumbest things you ever have to admit, that you actually think some kind of throuple relationship might actually work. Some kind of, hey, they're married, but I'm going to be with them, and they're going to take care of me in the United States, but one of them's going to get divorced, and I'm going to marry one of them, and all of this is going to magically work, and everyone's going to live happily ever after. No, you have got to have denied all of the 2 brain cells you have in your brain to actually make it seem like that is true. Oh, good, we handed over the prenup.
Does this include an autograph?
Look. That guy is like, I cannot believe you actually gave it back to me, because this was my last out. Because remember, neither one of them really want to get married. Both of them have hang-ups. Aaliyah wants to do all these crazy surgeries that probably will be regretted in the future, but that's neither here nor there at this point. Regardless, all these surgeries that want to be done, Sean doesn't. Sean clearly has been very clear about what he wants, but for some reason is still rolling forward with this. It kind of seems like maybe the prenup was some sort of last-ditch effort, knowing that this was going to be just thrown out the window, or at least there's some kind of subconscious thing there. And yet, when Aaliyah hands this to him, he's thinking, oh, crap. Now I have to either actually be honest or follow through with it.
This is wonderful news.
That lady looks like she's insane. I'm sorry, but some of it says she's old, but she's also shown many of the insanity side before, like basically just blindly supporting everything, never wanting to say there's any kind of anything wrong, and then almost bashing his kids before she even knew how they would react. So this lady already got problems. But clearly, just that's the crazy face.
If that doesn't feel better, then just don't come.
Oh, I'm not missing.
Yeah.
Hey, caramba.
So let me go ahead and break this down for you. Probably most of you watched the episode, but if you didn't watch the episode, his mom fell. She's 85 or something like that. It happens, but you have to be conscious of this as you get old. She fell, she hurt her ankle, and what does he say? If it doesn't get better, don't come. As a good son, one thing you might do is, I don't know, take her to the hospital. And if she's as stubborn as you say she is, then you might just call an ambulance and let them come there, try to get everything you can to get her help. Because you saying basically, I'm going forward with this wedding that I don't care about anyway, that I don't really want, when your mom could have broken an ankle, possibly a hip, which he mentions, which when you're that age can be very detrimental and can really just throw a wrench in everything, or possibly, you could pass away from that because of all kinds of complications. But no, let's leave your mom alone and say, hey, just don't come if it still bothers you. What the hell kind of son are you?
Die at that wedding rather than miss that wedding.
Oh, okay. So because you were saying that your mom is so stubborn that she'd die at that wedding rather than miss it, you know what you could have done? Again, called an ambulance. Now, she can send them away, obviously, if she's well enough that they can't just take her against her will, which in most cases happens if you have agency. But make that happen instead of just saying, well, I know her, she'll be stubborn. She could be passed out in pain right now and you wouldn't know.
To be honest, when Alex told about that prenup thing, I was expecting Shekinah to say, no way, no need such a thing.
Or possibly say, hey, we haven't even discussed this and we're sure as hell not going to discuss it with friends. Even if you're not going to outright say no, which, it's perfectly reasonable for him to think, why would you even say yes to that? We've never discussed it. But, okay, fine. Say, we're not discussing that now. But no, you know what she did? Yeah, it makes sense to her friends and just completely disregard the person that you're supposed to be marrying. He is justifiably pissed.
Sarper's taking this very personally, but my friends are very, as am I, of Sarper's past.
So? He's taking it personally because you blindsided him, let your friend tell him what he should do, and then sided with them. Why on earth would he not take this personally? And then you want to say, well, because of his past. You knew about his past before you ever got with him. And yet now, all of a sudden, you think it's a good idea to let your friends decide you need a prenup and act like you can't make decisions for yourself. Now, I've never been really a big fan of prenups anyway. Of course, with how things go sometimes, I do understand. But that's a conversation you have to have. You cannot blindside someone with this, and now you're going to start invoking his past, which, by all accounts, you haven't seen any indication since y'all have been together of him actually cheating on you. None. Because you know what would have happened? It would have been shown on TV.
Bir tane şeyim var dedim, şartım var dedim. Dedim sana kilo, ona bir kilo, hedef kilo vermiştim ben. Belli bir kilo veriyorum.
Talking about the weight goal, the weight limits and everything. He's talking to his parents and his cousin right now.
128 pounds limiti var. Her ay başı tartıyorum. Her aldığı kilo başına $1000 ceza kesiyorum.
$1,000 beginning every month, all that stuff, which was hilarious. And he said in reaction because he was blindsided by the prenup. So I couldn't care less that he said that. He was doing that as a reaction and kind of basically saying, okay, let me say something ridiculous to you.
Oo, güzel.
His dad says nice. His dad's like, nice. Way to go, son. But you know what? It's all a broader thing of you brought this whole thing of a prenup, blindsided me completely, and now I'm going to bring something ridiculous to you. I have a condition and I'll sign it. And yet then they all get offended. Not by the fact that her business manager was very invested and upset that she might lose money. That was pretty clear.
My ex-wife didn't want my family to visit us. She changed her behavior towards me.
Okay, so a little more context to why maybe he was the way he was throughout his 30s. When he was in his early 30s, he got married. Now, that's not discounting his 20s. I'm sure he was sleeping with a lot of people then too. But in his 30s, got married, big mistake. She tried to isolate him, kept him away from the family. This is what the concerns that the family have now with Shekinah, and probably rightfully so. But it also gives a window into maybe why he just kind of went buck wild through his 30s and had a notebook full of whatever it was, 2,500 women that he had slept with. It kind of makes sense. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it good, but at least it's a window into what kind of maybe caused all that. I don't think Shekinah is going to be the one to heal that, because she definitely is not a completely wholesome, completely, I just want what's best for you. She's all about Shekinah.
Of marriage, and it gives more things on me. Think twice, think 3 times. Are you ready? Are you?
Look, I'm not a big universe person. I don't really believe in all that. I don't really believe in karma. Everything happens for a reason, all that stuff. You have free will. You kind of make things happen, good or bad, whatever. But if you were a universe person, you might say, hey, the universe, with everything that's happened with Shekinah, is telling you to run the opposite direction.
And
We're getting married.
yes.
Oh, yay!
Don't forget that key piece.
We're getting married.
He looks so super happy. Look, I disagree with the fact that he can't seem to find happiness in being there with his son. He says he's happy, and I think he loves his son, but he's so focused on the cruise, and he can't really find happiness in anything else. But she's not making it easy. She is definitely being very hard and not even trying to understand where he's coming from. And we'll see a little bit more of that later.
Make me feel like my culture is here, my people's here, and make me feel more comfortable.
That's very nice. And you know what your wife did to make you feel more comfortable? She asked a suggestion from her friend who has a crush on her, and Megan decided to say, hey, all these Colombians love these paper flowers, that Juan promptly said, I don't even know what these are. That's what your wife did, or sorry, about to be wife did, to try to help your culture. But no, that's okay. That's enough for him. Good. She could look. The wedding doesn't have to be all about the Colombian culture. No, it shouldn't be. But damn, she could have done something to make it at least a little bit of an effort. Obviously, it's important to him.
Welcome to the house. Casa. It's a beautiful house. Grande.
So, Casa Grande, muy bonita, hola. That's what they're making the point that he wants his son to be able to learn Spanish. He's going to broach the subject with her. And I mean, there shouldn't be anything wrong with that, to try to say, hey, I want my son to learn Spanish. His problem is she's been saying for 4 years she's going to learn Spanish. It's not an easy task to learn another language, but it doesn't seem like she's made any kind of effort in a time where it's as easy as possible to at least get started with things like Rosetta Stone and Babbel. Babbel's the other one. So it doesn't seem like she's even made any kind of effort whatsoever. So that's where it's stemming from. But it's hilarious to watch her try to speak some Spanish, because she sounds like someone who's trying to sound like they can speak Spanish, but they can't.
Before I say the I do's, that has to be fixed.
Okay, this might be part of a problem, because he's about to say I do in a day, and he's saying this need to be fixed, that she hasn't learned Spanish before we say the I do. So are you saying that you need a commitment that she's going to learn it, or are you saying she needs to learn it because that's a losing battle, Juan? It seems like you're just trying to get up out of there. Now what we get to is Mina and Mark, and it's an interesting situation because they're paying the bill, but we get a good glimpse into what actually some of this is costing. As you can see, we have a beverage total of $6,872. We have a food total of $8,088. Good Lord. And that's not even... Quite frankly, people could spend a lot more on the weddings, but the thing about this is he's paying the final amount. So this right here is the final amount, allegedly. I don't even want to begin to understand what they've ended up spending altogether. So this right here ends up being about $15,000. He's probably spent $30,000 or $40,000 on this wedding if this is the final payment. So damn, and she's on the fence about whether it's going to happen or not? Uh-oh, that's the call. And here we are. We're waiting on pins and needles. She wants to get married only if Clayton can be there, except for the fact that everything was messed up before she came. She left her son behind, and now you're holding on that he's going to be there, saying if he's not, you're not going to get married. This was the most poorly planned BS I've ever heard. You should have never left your son. You should have waited there with him and said, we'll get my visa once we can get his stuff straight, or you should have waited and reapplied in a year. I get it. It sucks, but if you really had a stipulation of Clayton has to be there, you should have done it differently. Instead, now here he is, already swiped his card for the final payment, and I don't know how they're going to be about refunds, but probably not too kind. And yet, here you are hearing that he's not going to be there. How are you going to handle it? Clayton's not aware. What? How the hell are you saying that Clayton's not aware, but he's packed his stuff already? Why would you leave him acting like everything's going to be good when y'all have been so unsure the whole time, and you let the poor kid pack his stuff? What kind of horrible mother and mother's friend who's watching him and any family members involved are you? That poor kid had all this hope to go see his mom and be a part of this, and you're going to dash it with his packed bag in hand?
Clayton not coming out for me. No, I'm not married.
Clayton's not coming. I'm not going to get married.
It's not possible for me.
It's not possible. This should have never. And Mark is stupid for how many times she said that if Clayton doesn't come, I can't see myself getting married, that he continued to pay for everything, because she's told him this, even though it's 100% wrong, and she shouldn't have been leading this on, hoping that Clayton would get there without any reason to believe he actually would when he's had passport issues the whole time. But Mark is dumb for continuing on with this instead of saying, look, we need to wait till everything gets squared away, and then we'll handle all this stuff. I don't care if you have 90 days, then I'm sorry, you got to go back and you got to restart. Otherwise, now you're going to be out of the money, and she's going to have to go back anyway because she's not willing to go forward with it.
I've rented a house for Joan and I for the next couple of nights.
What?
So I just wanted to just kind of break out a little bit and just surprise the hell out of her.
Okay, I'm sorry, but am I mistaken in understanding that he has no money, considering the fact that he was able to pay the dowry? Now he's rented a house and for a couple nights in New York, and wait till you see the house, because then you'll be like, it ain't just no regular house. This is probably like several $1,000s. Plus, they went to New York, stayed in a hotel there, which also would be very expensive, and yet you don't have any money. I'm going to venture to say that probably all this over the top you're doing would have been better spent putting towards a down payment on a house, considering the fact that what Joan really wanted was a house. So, also missed opportunity for her, because I understand it's your wedding, but you should absolutely call him out and say, why are we not saving this money?
Let's get wait for us to get our own house, like create our own family, just
on the
me and
waterfront
you.
like that?
I have a very vivid imagination, so just picture.
He's got a vivid imagination. Let's see what his imagination says.
Sitting there on the couch at the house and, just picturing some little kids running around, mom yelling at them, because she's
His imagination is him sitting on the couch, kids running around, and the mom yelling at them. He is like Peter Griffin from Family Guy incarnate. You have the most vivid of imaginations, but you imagine yourself being lazy on the couch while Joan runs around yelling at the kids and you do nothing. Way to go, Greg. Joan, I'm just saying, you better keep that in mind and keep him in check, because damn, this boy gonna be lazy.
You love it?
I don't know how even.
It's New York, baby. You get whatever you want. Okay, as long as you got the scratch, right?
Does he have the scratch? Because here we are again. He goes to some specialty store in Brooklyn, New York to buy some African-type garb that they can wear. Guarantee that was several $100s right there. It's like, let's just keep a running tab. I need to get something on my screen where it's just a running tab of what Greg spends while he continually says, I don't have any money.
I'm no see.
Well, you know what he looks like? He looks like a white guy that went to Africa and just moved there randomly and feels like he's accepted by all the people that live there, but in reality, they're just laughing at him because he walks around in the garb and they're just like, look at this white guy. That's what he looks like. He looks like the most out-of-place person that doesn't realize he's out of place.
Is this typically spicy food or not?
Very spicy.
Good Lord.
Oh, is it? What are these, Greg?
She just keeps asking questions. It's like, how many questions are you going to ask? Mom keeps asking questions about the food. But also, let's point out the fact that he also catered African food to come to the house. Again, several $100s. Right now, we're over several $1,000s of money that he did spend. They didn't have to spend, but he spent anyway, because why not? Because that's what he says. They are destined to be in crazy debt, and I don't think Joan's going to be happy with that. But right now, because she's happy, she's not really thinking about it. You will later.
Just getting started. You know who you're marrying?
Yeah.
You know?
Of course I know.
A Long Islander.
A Long Islander who probably has a car loan, also a title loan, also probably personal loans, maxed out credit cards. But no, you know who you're marrying? You're marrying a Long Islander. What does that even mean? The guy who just got a job for the first time in 20 years because his future wife said, hey, you need to get a job? I mean, that job, has he quit that one yet? Because it wouldn't surprise me if he did. And the icing on the cake, he hired an African band to come in and play some African-style music. Again, cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. That's all we get. This fool probably could have set aside $5,000 from everything he spent there, probably even more than that, to go towards a down payment on a house, or at least start the saving of it. But instead, he's like, why not? Let's just have fun. I get it. It's your wedding. This is stuff you did not have to buy. And y'all could have been looking more towards maybe, I don't know, y'all's future or being able to get your own place.
I feel embraced with Greg's family. I know I'm loved.
Nothing negative to say. That was very nice. She said, I will say that part at least makes it a little bit worth it, even though he shouldn't have blown the money, because she said she feels loved, she feels accepted, she feels like he's really doing it for her, which I don't doubt he's doing it for her. It's just not a good decision when you have very little money and you have future plans you want to go with. But I have no negative here. I think that was a very nice moment of her kind of feeling like she's actually accepted.
So I'm worrying because maybe my family disown me.
Look, I don't doubt that they probably should disown you with you bringing this thruple BS to their doorstep. But I mean, have you not told them anything you do? That you use people, you manipulate people, you lie to people, you have a bunch of boyfriends that you accept gifts from, you work in a strip club. Have you not said any of that to them? Because if they've been okay with all that, then why would this be much more of a shocker? They should have told you a long time ago, you're doing bad things.
Y pues viene con su novio que me va a presentar, que me dice que me va a presentar.
Oh, that's
y
very
una
nice.
amiga de ella. Me va a dar.
So her aunt knows it as, Amini is the friend and Matt is the boyfriend. So again, the same way they expected it. We will see how that plays out if she actually admits to it.
Ella es mi novia también, tía.
Oh, she admitted to it. She's my girlfriend.
También me gustan las niñas.
I also like girls. Okay, please stop. You're going to give your aunt a heart attack. And?
Ellos están casados.
And they're married too. Oh my gosh. If the aunt just got up like with like a white glove and just across her face, well, you couldn't really blame her because, good Lord, you bring all of that. Not only are you saying, oh, not only am I not just with this guy, I'm with this girl, and also I like girls, and they're married, and we're going to find a way to make it work. I mean, I wouldn't have been shocked if the aunt's head just...
The brother and the wife are just like eyes wide open, completely shocked. And then Auntie here, she just completely shuts down. She's not.
I wonder why, and you're acting surprised. You bring this crap to people and you expect them just to be like, yeah, that's completely normal. Not completely disregarding all the children involved, the fact that you basically abandoned your kids for this crazy mission that's never going to be able to be accomplished, and then you want everyone else to accept your crazy, ridiculous, debaucherous lifestyle? And yet you want to say, they're looking crazy. Of course, because you're crazy. But yet most people will say, oh, but you know what, I'll accept it. Why? Say, yeah, that's ridiculous what you're doing. I mean, I don't have anything problem with you. I mean, I'll be reasonable with you, but what you're doing is ridiculous. You can say that, but people act like they can't.
I mean, I literally have never taken any Spanish, and I can do basics if you think of where I started. I mean,
Well, just by seeing what I saw earlier in the episode, she can't do basics, which it's fine, I mean, you don't have to learn Spanish. But the problem here was, according to Juan, she's been telling him for 4 years that she's going to learn Spanish. Now she's making every excuse in the book, which is kind of Jessica's MO. This is what she does. She never really takes accountability for herself, and then she wants to point out all of Juan's flaws, everything he's doing wrong. It's not that Juan doesn't do anything wrong. Sure he does. But she's not trying to act like, hey, you're right. I got caught up. She could say right here, I was busy. It was hard. I was working, all these things, and just say, I know I said I was going to learn it. I thought it would be easier to do it. She could say a million things. Instead, she just goes on to how it was hard for her.
This is something that concerns me a little bit, and I really want you to know.
Okay.
That was it.
And that was it. And that's kind of what he goes with, because how is he going to really say anything else when she's not even really saying, sure, I'll make more of an effort. Sure, I'll do this. None of that. Nothing. Doesn't even give him a little something to be like, look, I understand where you're coming from, and we'll see if we can't incorporate that. I definitely want our son to learn your culture. I think it'd be great if he learned Spanish. Let's work on that. Nothing. None of that. She doesn't even try. Instead, she tries to do the whole cut him off thing where he has to say, excuse me, can I finish? It's pretty ridiculous.
Put an air tag on Sarper's keychain because if he loses his keys, we need to be able to find them.
Is that right, you manipulative crazy person? That's what you did. No, instead, for a couple who really struggles to trust each other, really no honest reason. I mean, they've had fights and things like that, but never really has infidelity been any kind of thing there. Her concerns for his past, but never anything he's really done that's really been like, hey, he's out there cheating on me. But you decided to put an air tag on and track him like a dog. It's one thing to have an agreement where you share your location, whatever. If people want to do that, that's up to them. Her problem is he won't share his location. Okay, sure, I guess. I still don't see how this is a problem, and yet you wanted to actually tag him like you're some kind of private investigator putting a low jack on someone's car. I mean, that's kind of low.
The real reason there's an air tag on Sarper's keychain is because he won't share his location with me.
Sharing the location was the issue the whole time. So instead of trying to build up a trust, she is actually going to draw a wedge between them by planting a tracking device. It's ridiculous.
Turn on my GPS so I know where I'm going.
Don't act like as she's following her GPS to where he is, they're acting like a producing crew doesn't know where he is at all times. That's why this whole thing is kind of ridiculous, because you know damn well they know exactly where he is, but they're trying to play it out for the storyline.
For 2 years, we never talked about it. Prenup thing,
and there you go. And then she came with the prenup. So he's scared because he's had a bad experience before, and now all of a sudden she wants to bring up these things that have never been talked about. Why would he think that things wouldn't magically change when they're married, and yet then everything becomes more complicated? So he's rightfully so kind of bothered and upset here, and yet does Shekinah try to do anything to really fix this? No, everything is his fault. Nothing is Shekinah's fault. Do what she says or else. This is not the kind of person you need to be with.
Do you not want to get married?
Oh, take the opportunity. Right then, take the opportunity to say, you know what? I've thought about things. I've thought through very carefully. No, I'm going back to Turkey. Whatever you need to do. But when she says, do you not want to get married? Just say it. Trust me, you don't want to be with her. She's crazy. She's going to drive you crazy the rest of your life until you cheat on her. And then you're going to be the bad guy. Because no matter what, if you cheat, it's not good. But leave now.
Resulta pues que es otra situación.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was going to be one thing, but it turns out to be a whole different thing. And now we're just kind of all shocked. And yet, Amini, and they look really surprised and everything. Lady. At least try to act like you got a brain cell or two up there.
Pues se está divorciando por mí, para cuidarme a mí.
She's divorcing for me so she can take care of me. That says everything you need to know right there. So she's waiting to be taken care of. She's waiting for her daughter to be taken care of. She wants to have it easy and not really have to do anything. But this whole thing is predicated on the love. Oh, we're a real couple and all these things. And yet she says it right there. She wants to take care of me. If they really are going under the guise of we're going to take care of her, then they're even stupider than I thought. At least I can claim that you are really stupid and ignorant. But if you're just actually willing to take care of her, you're not ignorant. You know exactly what's going on. You're just turning the other cheek. I mean, welcome to bankruptcy, because that's what you're going to get.
Los dos son novios.
Exactly.
Yo siento que esto no es normal.
Yes, it's not normal. Why can't it, regardless of religion, if you're not religious, it's fine. It's not a normal, regular, healthy thing. You can acknowledge that and not be religious. And yet she's saying it's not normal, all these things. Say that. Say that to them. Stop acting like people have to accept this craziness that is right in front of you and call it out for what it is. A ridiculous act that's never going to last, that all it really is a fetish that will get you through until the lust for something else overpowers you.
Estar sola, que voy a estar, me van a cuidar, que vamos a estar juntos.
Do you really? Now, she might believe that. The two, Matt and Amini, should not believe that, but I think they all do. That they're just going to all take care of each other. We're going to be one big happy family. And when it crashes and burns in spectacular fashion, I will be there to laugh and have no sympathy because you're stupid.
Pero, ¿sabes qué?
What?
Me da mucho gusto.
What makes me really happy?
Veo en tu mirada que también.
I don't know what she's looking at in her eyes. I don't know if she saw a little tinge of glaucoma or something, but it ain't happy. Well, you know what? I take that back. It might be happiness in her eyes, because it might be a happiness of cha-ching. It's dollar signs. She sees dollar signs in her eyes. That's all she does. No, she's saying, I see it in your eyes. I don't know what you see. Maybe she's been manipulating you your whole life. And you know what? Sad that her parents, passed away or weren't there, and she had to grow up with the aunt. But clearly she's got issues and she's manipulative and she really doesn't have a respect or a care for people. She just doesn't. She is about using and manipulating, and that's it.
We came here for, it's better than any of us could have expected.
Is it? Oh, is it better than all you expected? That is the face of someone who is completely manipulating you and has complete control. The one on the left is the representation of absolutely no masculinity and no manliness. The one in the middle is the representation of manipulation. The one on the right is representation of someone who just doesn't have any brain cells and lets their lustful feelings overwhelm them. We will call them the Three Stooges of intimacy. They're stupid, they can't figure it out, and yet here they are.
Arrival time on the invitation is 6:30.
Okay.
The ceremony starts at 6:30.
Oh, he messed up. How are you going to put on the invitation to arrive at the time the wedding starts? So now he's in freak out mode and like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Now, I have a little bit of a hot take, if you will. Look, I get it. It's the wedding. You don't want to mess anything up. Mistakes happen. But freaking out over something like this probably is not going to do anyone any good. But yet, he makes mistakes constantly. So I think he's like, oh gosh, another mistake. And yet, like, not getting the job and not having any money and now blowing all their money. I mean, he's kind of a mistake factory. So this doesn't really shock me.
Know that I'm dependable and reliable.
Oh, okay. So you just want her to know that you're dependable and reliable. You're getting emotional. While it took you forever to even say, I'm going to get a job, you finally got one. You have to build that up. Why are you crying, though? There's no reason to get emotional here. I mean, the reality is, like I said, it's a lot lesser of a deal than you're making it out to be. But if you're really trying to prove you're reliable, then actions speak louder than words, and you have to build that over time. You don't have that yet.
I feel like I kind of dropped the ball. And I'm
did.
freaking out.
Yeah.
Let's see, we'll start with Kelly.
Okay. And in true Greg fashion, he's sitting on the couch wallowing while his mom is going to start trying to text people. So again, you're not doing for yourself. And this is what I talked about with actions speak louder than words. Those actions are not helping you.
I think I will start with my hair.
Okay. You are like, I think a couple hours out. You're like an hour and a half out. You're there at 3 p.m. And now you're just starting with saying, we're going to start with my hair, knowing full well that you take hours and hours and hours for pretty much no reason other than to try to make yourself look more feminine because, well, you got to do a little extra work. But now you're starting late and you're going to be late again after the whole debacle with the whole engagement party. This is just ridiculous. This is just, it's beyond rude. It's just downright wrong. And it almost seems like it's kind of malicious at this point. Now, Aaliyah said that Aaliyah's going to need like 2 hours or something like that and asking what the time is. So asking, we have?
You don't have.
Oh, okay.
We don't have?
Oh my gosh, that laugh is, I'm sorry, that laugh is the laugh of an evil villain and the laugh alone is the superpower.
You don't have it at all.
What do you mean we don't have?
You have about 90 minutes.
Okay, so you know what time your wedding starts, and instead you're going to act and play dumb. You're going to play stupid and say, oh my gosh, we don't have that. We don't have 2 hours. We only have 90 minutes. This is complete manipulation and just lying. You know damn well what time the wedding starts, and instead of keeping on top of the time, you don't care. You're going to take all the time you want to get ready or whatever, which, by the way, when you see what Aaliyah's wearing, it's like, good Lord, don't go to the wedding anyway. You look like a stripper. But I digress on that for a moment. Now you're going to act like you're surprised and still not care. Instead of being like, I need to ramp it up a little bit. No, you take more time. I mean, even the dog Maxwell is there ready to go in his little suit to be the ring bearer. I mean, come on.
I just need to have the ceremony happen and then ship my mom to the hospital with whoever will take her. And then.
Oh, so you're just going to wait until after the ceremony to send your mom, who possibly could have a broken ankle or broken hip of some sort, because that'll probably end up well. All these people have no empathy. They don't care about people. They only care about themselves. I don't care what your mom says. If you actually gave a damn, you would have called the ambulance. And that's it.
And the other side. Yeah, like that.
Already 30 minutes late, just getting into the dress. I mean, let that sink in on how rude, horrible, just completely I don't even know what the best adjective to use would be. Just completely awful.
Look beautiful. Yeah.
And then when you come out, you have a completely see-through sheer dress with nothing on underneath other than a thong. Like, what the hell are you trying to be here? I look beautiful. No, you look like a damn stripper trying to pretend that you're whatever you think you are. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Not only are you not ready for a wedding, but it looks like you just found some sheer material laying around the house and said, well, I guess I'll wear this because now I've taken too much time and I have to throw something on. That's what it looks like. You might as well just go in a thong bikini and that's it.
I'm done. Literally, like, no going back, done.
Oh, is he leaving?
Even though he's looking for an excuse, looking for an out, can you blame him? It's been an hour and 45 minutes. Aaliyah's not there, and now you're like, what the hell? All the guests are like, what is going on? It's like 100 degrees outside, and yet you just don't care enough because, oh, but I got to look a certain way. I'm like, no, you don't care about other people. It makes you the bad person, Aaliyah. So welcome to being the bad person. Congratulations. Now, Sean was looking for a reason, that's true, and I guess he found it. And Aaliyah, it's her own damn fault because, yeah, you had time. It was 3 o'clock and you were just getting ready. What were you doing? Chilling and saying, oh, they'll wait because you're so special? You're a ridiculous person. This continues to be an absolute crazy train wreck of a show, and as we go on to episode after episode, now season 11, episode 16, we keep rolling on this reality train wreck that just wants to derail because it's so awful, because none of them are good, and yet here we are continuing on. I can only find small little good things to say, but for the most part, these are just not great people that are just doing not great things. So we will continue to follow it. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Catch Hunt for Love tomorrow as we will continue to delve into that, which is even more of a train wreck. So that's fun. And I will see y'all next time.